What is up, everybody? To Reverse here today, and we have to talk about this article from website DualShockers, which is pretty much a PlayStation-centric website right here. But even they stated with Jim Ryan retiring soon on his way out, Sony needs its own Phil Spencer. And when they stated this, Sony fanboys were not happy with this article whatsoever. They are like, you can already see the first comment. Might be time to drop the DualShockers name after this one. So there's a plethora more comments like this, but are they right though? I think Sony does need their own version of Phil Spencer, because Phil Spencer at least played video games. He knew his target audience and what they wanted, while Jim Ryan doesn't play video games whatsoever. Once again, there's an infamous picture out there of him showing a PS5 upside down, so clearly he doesn't play video games whatsoever. So, but this is the key highlights from the articles, once again from DualShockers, saying Phil Spencer, the CEO of Xbox, stands out as a major platform CEO who knows and enjoys gaming. The departure of Jim Ryan, CEO of PlayStation, highlights the need of a more approachable and affairable face for the company to engage with its audience. Yeah, because Jim Ryan doesn't engage with his audience whatsoever. PlayStation don't engage with their fan base at all, which is kind of crazy. They don't engage with them at all. Sony PlayStation brand could benefit from finding a CEO who can balance corporate professionalism with a casual and engaging demeanor similar to Phil Spencer's style. Yeah, a lot of people on Xbox fans love Phil Spencer. While a lot of people on PlayStation just want Jim Ryan gone. So it is two different viewpoints of these different CEOs right here. But yeah, Phil Spencer did save Xbox when it was on the brink of being asunder during Xbox One generation. That's probably their worst generation. He turned everything upside down for Xbox going forward. So, and also, there's a big growth going on Xbox as well. Sarah Bond got a promotion. Matt Booty got a promotion. While at the PlayStation side of things, it says this person, PlayStation head of production Connie Booth, has left the company after 34 years of being with Sony. Now, David Jaffe said that she was fired. He got sources that she was fired. Sony tried to say she left to try to make it nice, but she was fired, according to David Jaffe, which I believe he got good sources because, once again, he did used to work at PlayStation. He is the creator of God of War. So I kind of believe David Jaffe more than this official statement right here. I think she was fired. Jim Ryan is retiring, quote unquote retired. He probably got fired too, because it's just weird focus on games as a service. A lot of things is going on, just bizarro decisions at PlayStation right now. A lot of things are not alright at PlayStation. Even right here, Media Molecule, the Dreams and Little Big Planet creator, is reducing staff by 15 to 20%. And Little Big Sackboy he's supposed to be like the mascot of PlayStation at one point, but I guess they said, hey, guess those games weren't selling that well, so you gotta reduce the staff now. So it's kind of crazy. Things are not a-okay at PlayStation right now, especially their big focus as games as a service. Let me read David Jaffe's quote. Multiple sources have confirmed that Connie Booth was fired from PlayStation, and many of the PlayStation devs are pissed about the pivot to games as a service. So a lot of the devs don't want to do games as a service type games, which makes sense because those games they flop a lot. They come out for 1-2 months. They be out for maybe 5 months at most, and they give that big letter to the fans saying, hey, we're gonna close down our servers to our dedicated fans. They pretty much most of them, these game servers are not doing well. So I can see why devs don't want to focus on these games, because only very few actually succeed. Like the Fortnites, the PUBG. I don't know if PUBG is even a thing at this point, but you get the gist. The real popular ones make it, but the other ones, they just fall to the wayside. So yeah, DualShockers made this article. Now let's see the salty replies. Didn't quite think this one through, did you? This person just says, no, we don't need a Phil Spencer type CEO. Sorry, but this is just the worst take this month. PlayStation gamers don't want this sort of service being served up to Xbox gamers, thank you. He doesn't even care whether consoles does well or not, as long as the Game Pass mentality is adopted. No thanks, PlayStation is doing just fine. That's a hilarious statement. They're doing just fine with just one big first party game this year. And then that game was buggy. It's like they're releasing PSVR 2, which most people don't care about. They're releasing the Portal device, which is a half-ass PlayStation portable device people actually want. So I don't know. They're saying PlayStation's doing just fine. I say otherwise. Other than them just selling consoles, PS5 consoles, I think the whole house is on fire pretty much with PlayStation. They had Sean Layden until he stepped down, quote unquote. He actually got fired and escorted out the building. They had security escort him out the building. One of the CEOs of PlayStation. It's like, that had to be a crazy scenario. You once the CEO, you got fired, then security has to escort you out. Like, I'm curious, like, what went down during that day? If you're going to be a fly on the wall during that day when he got escorted out, because that is kind of crazy. PlayStation needs another Ken Kutaragi or Steve Jobs. Phil Spencer is just a snake oil salesman. Look at the butthurtness. How is he a snake oil salesman? Let's see if he goes into detail about this, because this is just a ridiculous claim right here. They need someone with vision at the helm and marketing manager with charisma leading the return to fan appreciation events and live showcases. Okay, they have that on their Xbox. What are you talking about? Like, Phil Spencer has charisma. The fans of Xbox like Phil Spencer. So he's kind of describing Phil Spencer, but doesn't want to give him credit for whatever reason. He's super butthurt against Microsoft. Why would PlayStation need a liar instead of a leader? Really? People nicknamed Jim Lion Ryan. So what is he talking about? What is Phil Spencer lied about? Like, they just make these ridiculous claims. Like, what? Phil has actually done nothing, yes. Because the Xbox One generation was so perfect for Xbox, right? Oh man, these comments are just so ridiculous. Microsoft gives them $80 billion to spend. That's not a success. Jim did a great job. As they're focusing on games as a service, Factions is on ice in limbo. One of the biggest games people want remade. KOTOR is on ice as well, or dead on a. I don't know what happened. Where's KOTOR? I don't know. Nobody knows what's going on with that game. It's like, really, did Jim Brand really do a good job other than selling consoles? Kudos to them selling consoles, but other than that, it's not great right now with PlayStation. This person says, "Oh dear God, no." This is the guy that wanders the street of Japan talking about Xbox, just for reference. It says, "Oh dear God, no." A con man who produces nothing but 60 Metacritic flops, ports every single game to PC, and produces third place sales and year-over-year losses almost every quarter is not what Sony needs. Phil Spencer needs to resign. 60 Metacritic flops. Haven't the most recent games been doing really well? So what is he talking about? And in even 1 year, they won Publisher of the Year from Metacritic. So these guys have some revisionist history going on right here, because this is just ridiculous. And then, of course, every single game to PC. Okay, Sony's doing the same thing. And are we still saying that's a bad thing in 2023 where they port the games over to PC? Like, that's not a bad thing. We get to play that game, so why is that a bad thing? And produces third place sales and year-over-year losses. I don't know if that's even true or not. I think that's just some made-up BS, but, there you go. We went from fire Phil to we need a Phil. They really want Phil Spencer sued and fired. Wow. All Phil has done is spend $80 billion plus to acquire successful studios. PlayStation doesn't do the same thing. Sure, they don't spend the same amount, but they kind of do the same thing. These comments are just something else. Anyone can do that if they have the money. That isn't being a great CEO. Just like anyone can do that if they have the money. Just like Sony is just pretty much piggybacking off Square Enix success with their Final Fantasy games because they have no first-party games this year. Oh man. This isn't being a great CEO or an example of great success. Okay. Phil Spencer is a legend in the gaming industry, pretty much. Like, at this point. He's been an excellent leader for the Xbox brand and helped release Game Pass, which offers insane value in terms of day one releases. It's just funny how the Sony audience is so against Game Pass. Like, really? This is the most craziest concept. You could have all these great games day one, AAA games at that day one in the service, and you guys are against it. Now, damn well if PlayStation had the same type of service, you guys would be all for it. But because Xbox has it, you can't give Xbox any credit. They have to act like petulant children about this. They have to blame Phil Spencer and say that Game Pass is of the devil or something. I don't know. It's just real bizarre. It's like they say, hey, I don't want a deal on video games. Let me pay full price. That's really like going into the store when there's a sale on whatever. You get a buy two get one free sale. You say, hey, don't charge me the buy two get one free price. Let me pay for all 3 items full price. It makes no sense. Herman, he's a real gamer. Is this an infamous photo? Oh, this is the Herman Host photo. He had his PS5 upside down. Yeah. A lot of these guys clearly, I mean, not gamers at PlayStation. PlayStation, Herman Host would be behind the closure of Japanese studios for David Jaffe. So he's the one who closed down the Japanese studios? Oh, man. Who is next to take Jim Ryan's spot? Because this is looking bad. This is looking spooky at this point. You got this guy closing down the Japanese studios. Them firing people who've been there for 34 years. It's like, it's just wild right now, PlayStation. Increasing the price of PS Plus. But yes, PlayStation is completely fine right now. Oh, man. Oh, God, hell no. Jim Ryan circles around Phil Spencer and put... What are they talking about with this? Like, I'm not even sure, like, what they're talking about. Like, what stats are they going by to say all this nonsense? Like, you're paying more for PS Plus. That's not a win. So, I don't know. I think Sony fanboys live in some delusional reality from everybody else at this point, where they think just Jim Ryan just did an amazing job with PlayStation. Other than just selling consoles. Like, what else did he do besides sell consoles for PlayStation? Which, they already had the success from the PS4 generation, so did he really even do anything? I mean, I don't know. I'm not trying to discredit Jim Ryan's success, but I don't know. I think these guys are just being they're definitely revising history with this guy's tenure as a CEO. So, but yeah, I'm gonna conclude it right here. It's just a whole bunch of butthurt Sony fanboys in the comment section. But yeah, even DualShockers is saying, hey, maybe they need a Phil Spencer type leader at PlayStation. And Sony fanboys are seething about that when they kind of actually do. They need to take DualShockers' advice, because the next person they get probably won't be as... He could probably be worse than Jim Ryan. We don't know. So I'm gonna conclude it right here. Definitely want to see your thoughts down below about this article from DualShockers. Leave a like this video. As always, thanks for watching, and peace.